Friend, friends, will you come with me, Olivia Robertson, of the Fellowship of Isis, and join with us in the awakening of Isis in the constellation of Taurus? Anoint your brow with water. No matter what is your time and place, come with us into our place and time. Come into the sky in the constellation of Taurus, with the sun in Taurus, at no less a festival than Beltane Eve, Merry Eve. You are now hovering in your astral body while still attaining some earth consciousness over the land of Era, and you look down at the southeastern corner, and you're aware of a rainbow-coloured light encircling a mysterious valley between two rivers, and violet-coloured mountains, two blue foothills, and many patchwork hills. You descend into the ancient castellated Colligor Castle, which is like a mist around you. You sink deep into the castle until you find a company assembled at Brigid's Well, around which the castle was built. There are about 50 people for this evening ceremony of Beltane, with the lovely long shadows. The priestesses wear the Hathor Isis headdress, and his cow's horn supporting the solar disk upon the feet of Isis, and they wear lemon-yellow robes. Priests wear the white Osiris headdress and white robes. The women companions wear silver circlets, the men the white fra headdress, folded cloth, and all wear white robes. The Ankh-Lamen is worn around the necks of all. The priestesses use the sistrum, the Egyptian rattling instrument, the most ancient in the world, and the priests hold the crook of Osiris. The women carry these beautiful magical wands. A priestess offers libation to the goddess Brigid, invoking her. Hail Bridget, triple goddess of Aaron, hail Bridget, fiery arrow of the spirit, inflame us this night with your passion and mystery. Now she anoints each brow as when she has poured a libation into the well, and the other priestesses help her. They receive true vision. They receive true vision. May you receive true vision. Feel a tingling upon your forehead. Visualize a priestess lightly touching place of your third eye. Now the priest Hierophant, Lawrence Durden Robertson, summons the company to make procession to the abbey of the goddess Dana.
We will come to the abbey of Dana.
There is a beautiful procession passing 9 pillars down the lengthy temple, and it is all cool here, but when they reach the portico of the Muses, suddenly there is the warm May sunshine of this lovely spring evening. The procession moves into a garden, and the sun now is sinking in the west, which is filled with a golden glow, and all the shadows therefore point to the east. And there are many shadows of yew trees, and the company make a maze-like movement through the yew trees, and they reach a ruined abbey of Dana, which is rich with lovely spring flowers, especially a great cherry tree with pink blossoms. And the company make a maze-like entrance into the chapel abbey itself, and there are primroses still, and bluebells, lovely, and flowering shrubs of various sorts. And however, the attention of the company is directed towards the high altar, which is a granite dolmen, and it is used in the ancient way as seat for the entranced oracle. We see the figure of a woman, veiled in white, seated upon the dolmen, and there is still the sound of the evening chorus of birds around her, and we think of Dana, mother of all the birds. Some may see a golden disk of light hovering above her head, which may descend if the oracle is to be given, and a rainbow aura about the priest who has prayed and purified herself. A priest approaches and makes invocation.
Isis, beloved, great Isis, bestower of love, thou who lost and found thy divine husband Osiris, starry Serapis, and who brought him to life, teach us to love with understanding, to help rather than to hinder those we seek to heal, and hold us to thy embrace, which is the encircling arms of the Cosmic Mother.
Suddenly there is a stillness, a silence. Even the birds seem still, and we hear a woman's voice.
My loves are many, for to me all my sons and daughters are the dismembered fragments of Serapis, the starry constellation of incarnate beings. My white milk nourishes all creatures, for this milk is the nectar of the deities, replenishing their ichor, the divine blood. Rightly am I adored as the cow goddess, sharing the honor with Hathor and Lakshmi. For all mothers, whether animal or human, serpent or fish or insect, give entirely with unselfish abandon to their offspring. This is the law of nature, for it is my law. But mothers and wives need to be protected and strengthened by the gods, for to give we must also receive. The goddesses receive life and food from the mother goddess. They need also the mighty gods to give them their strength and determination. For know that our love can be our weakness, and those who depend upon us may become as parasites if we keep them too long beneath our protecting wings. So remember that although the goddess presides over the constellation of Taurus, it is the god Serapis with his red eye who watches the just and the unjust, and who rewards the virtuous and punishes the wicked. In the giant Orion, you see man in his full vigor and wildness. Always in your lives, balance this with the white star of Isis. The inner mystery lies in this star, Sothis, Sirius. This is the inner sun now being unveiled to those who understand. In this twofold star may be realized the heavenly union of the goddess and God, love and truth, blended in perfect beauty.
There is a silence, and all fold their hands in gratitude for the oracle. Someone, a temple maiden, gives the oracle a glass of water, and everyone else turns to the priest Hierophant.
Companions in the quest for greater consciousness, we are assembled to experience the mystical awakening bestowed by the goddess Isis through her constellation, Taurus.
The oracle now rises from her dolmen and approaches the priest who has invoked her as the god Osiris. They both face each other across the path, both hands, palms facing each other. They stand in this way until power, silvery and golden power, is felt descending from above. When they feel this power, when others even can see this shimmering in the air, this beautiful blended power of love and truth, they part their hands slowly and then face the whole company in their hands held up in the Egyptian style above their waist, shoulder length, and send forth rays of beauty, love, and joy. Feel this yourself. You may feel a shivering within you, a warmth, a glow in your heart, silver light in your head. Your whole body may feel as if it were under water. The priestess now offers plant incense before the dolmen.
I offer this incense to thee, Isis, in honor of thy divinity. Hail, Agathise, greatly renowned Isis, mightiest Hermothis, in thee every city rejoices. O discoverer of life and grain foods, wherein all mortals delight because of thy blessings. All who pray to thee to assist thy prosperity flourish in their piety forever. All who are bound in mortal illnesses, in the grip of death, if they but pray to thee, quickly attain thy renewal of life. Creator of both the earth and the starry heavens, and of all rivers and very swift streams, Horus is thy son who inhabits the height of heaven. He is the rising sun who showeth forth the light. All indeed who wish to bring forth offspring, if they but pray to thee, attain fruitfulness. With thee all vegetation flourishes, and thou dost apportion to all whom thou dost favour a life of unspeakable blessings. Joyfully after thy festivals we return home, reverently filled with the blessedness that comes alone from thee.
The priest offers plant incense before the dolmen.
I offer this to thee, Osiris, Seraphis of the starry bull. Hail, holy bull, hail to thee. Beneficent bull, hail to thee, who maketh increase. Hail to thee who maketh growth. Hail to thee who dost bestow thy bounty. Save us. We offer hereby our thoughts and words and actions, our herds and men and women, to the bountiful spirit of the deities, and may the creative star shine down upon us and around us. Let Agentharan, the torch, the left red eye of the ball, given by the goddess, which shineth within the pale of the 7 maidens, the hydras, watch over us.
Yes, invocation has been made to the mighty god of the constellation of Taurus with the red eye, the left eye of the god Aldebaran. The solemnity of the occasion holds all silent until the priest Hierophant says that the procession will now be formed to visit no less than our ancient Boulogne stone, prehistoric centre of worship.
The procession will now precede the old Boulogne stone, prehistoric centre of worship.
There is music and the rattle of sistrum, and the company leave the Abbey of Dana and make their way across the garden towards the great lime tree avenue, soaring trees of the soft pale green of early spring. But they do not go down the avenue, they swing to their right, and we think they're going into a wilderness, but they're not. They turn to the left and enter a wrought-iron gateway leading into a lovely field sloping down to the river Derry. And there are some early cattle that are now using this grass because there's been such an early spring, and they gaze at us with deep brown eyes of surprise. It's nice to see creatures out of doors now. And we follow this procession, imagine it, about 50 people headed by the priesthood, and with plenty of children following on. Always more people join as this procession moves around the grounds. Finally, the stone is reached. It's huge. It has a cup which was formed years ago by women grinding corn. Hence, it is sacred to the goddess Grania, the corn goddess. The procession, as is the wont, very slowly goes 3 times the path of the sun round the stone. Then the priestess offers some grain which is brought in a little bag to the wonderful goddess Grania of the sun.
Hail, Grania, Lady of Grain, bringer of prosperity to the fields and to the creatures of the fields. Hail, Grania, Lady of the Sun, shine upon us this day as we make our May Eve celebration.
Now the priest invokes the god Manannan of the mysteries. He was of the western land of Atlantis, where the sun is now sinking. He calls upon Manannan, Maclea of space.
I call upon Macnunnan Maclea of space, of time, great god known to the Atlanteans, bringer of the light, bringer of all things. I call upon thee.
The link of the Isle of Man called after Manannan, now as we think of this, and each person proceeds to dip their fingers in the rainwater, which luckily has accumulated there, rather greenish looking, but still, and put it on their brow, because this is the walk stone. The village people for thousands of years have used it for healing. It's even healed cancer, I'm told. Now the company sits on the ground in a very informal way, and one priestess is called upon the she. I call upon the beloved she, spirits of the air, spirits of fire, spirits of water, spirits of the earth. Brightly shines the fire of Brigid in the centre of the earth. Softly shines the fire of Brigid in the womb that giveth birth. Softly blows the winds of Mari, draws her veil across the sky, dims the golden rays of Gornia, moves the treetops. Sigh, you can hear the sigh of the wind. And at this point, the priesthood describe experience of the Sidhe which they had had a few days ago as they walked down the village at night. He asked Vivian to tell us, begin.
I saw a light, first of all, in the sky, almost as if in the shape of a tree, that was hung with fairy lights of silver and gold. It stood in mid-air, not supported by the ground, and seemed to twinkle and call us to the dance of the Sidhe.
Her husband Chris describes. Did you experience anything, Chris?
I did. As we walked along the path, the images skirted round our vision, dancing, staring at us from the trees, seeing if they could perhaps make us jump by showing us their red eyes and white eyes. And then we felt the sounds of the earth around us, the blaring of sheep, the sounds from the road slowly start to fade, and we felt as if the world itself was changing around us.
And Brian, what happened to you? Right name, Irish anyway.
There were blue lights in the trees, which looked like flame or looked like mists dancing. Standing upon the grass, it felt as if power electricity was coming up from the ground, exciting, invigorating, mysterious, enchanting. And then at the sides of vision, it was like a blue curtain, like a strange blue curtain was seen on peripheral vision either side, as one was being drawn through the veil, through the blue way, being encouraged by the Sidhe to join for a little while, for the two races to meet, for the two races to, for a short while, communicate and be as one.
We have a missing priestess here, Elizabeth Taylor. What I gather she had some experience which was a bit overwhelming of the Sidhe. Would you tell us?
Elizabeth had seen the May Queen walking in the grounds. The May Queen is laughing. The May Queen is very knowing. She just looks and laughs and is. And she who has invited us to the dance for May Eve, which is why we are present at this rite.
I think you said, Vivian, they were asking you to a merry party, but you had to put it off till today, and of course it's the right day. Is that so? You felt a bit tired?
Yes, it is. It was tonight that we're invited to the party of the Sidhe in the woods.
And we invite you to come along as well, because you're out of your bodies now, and you're joining our party. That is the system of Egypt, that we are summoned now by fairy music to the very grove. The ancient bell of the Druids, and the priest Hierophant calls us to the grove of Diana, secret temple within our wilderness.
Let us proceed to the grove of Diana, the secret temple within our wilderness.
It's infinitely more mysterious. We rather wonder what's going to happen to us as we proceed into the wilderness itself. We cross the field, and instead of turning to the right to the abbey, we turn to the left-hand path, which goes downwards into the wilderness. And then on the right, just to have you bewildered, we face a long, dark yew walk, 600 years old. Follow the procession as it wends its way, as ghostly monks are said to do. I don't know if they're mingling with us, but I'm sure the Sidhe are watching us. Come. When you think you're going to go on walking forever, suddenly the company swing to the left, and we go down through the wilderness, past a Chinese ginkgo tree, various trees from many lands, but towering above them are cypresses, and we can see a glimmer of a fire. And we turn to the left, but a druidic figure bars our way. He's got a great staff, and in the name of the god of all trees, he asks us, he challenges us as to what our purpose is.
By the great El Kings, by the people of my land, tell me of your purpose here. Why have you come?
We are no intruders. We are of this land, and we have honoured guests of the sacred islands who would accept the invitation given to us by the people of the Sidhe and celebrate Beltane Eve with them, spirits of the elements, children of Dana, as are we all. May we part.
So should it be, path of your own free will.
We enter by 2 cypress trees, and our floor is beautiful. It's all of pine needles and pine cones, and there's a small, as it were, passage of trees, and then a great circle, and in the centre is the Beltane fire, and the whole company assembles round the fire, and I speak to them. Know that the ancient mystery of Isis and the son of Queen Astarte was here enacted. Isis, disguised as a nurse, looked after the little son of Queen Astarte during her wanderings seeking Osiris. But one night the queen followed her and found her holding the child over a fire. The queen challenged her and drove her away, whereupon Isis revealed herself as the great star goddess and said, "Wretched woman, thou hast denied thy son divinity. Know that if you had allowed me to hold him within the fire of sacred flames, he would have been immortal." This same story was told of Greece with Demeter in her wanderings with Persephone. She also, disguised as a nurse, looked after the son of a queen, and the same thing occurred. She was driven forth. But here in Ireland, the same thing happened with a different result. A mother came to stay here with her son, knowing nothing of this. When she came to put her son to sleep at about 11, she saw a woman. And the son told her that a lady had tucked him in. And she looked, and the woman wore a swan brooch, symbol of the Sidhe. And she knelt and she lighted a fire. And then she opened the window, which you're never meant to do if you're afraid of the Sidhe at Beltane. But my friend and the son were happy to see her and welcomed the goddess. Dana. And the next day, May Day, at 5, the little boy was put to sleep before a journey. And the mother went up, and this time she did get a shock. She saw the woman perfectly solidly standing by her son's bedside. She was going to wake him up to give him a banana and some milk. And the goddess put her finger to her lips in the ancient sign of the mysteries of our Hippocrates, son of Isis. Friends, we are seated around the fire, hearing tales of the She and of how the great goddess manifests today to those who are ready, even as children, to awaken to the mysteries. However, though we love the land of Era, we extend to all lands, all countries. I have half Indian nephew and nieces, and we are related to the Indian peoples. Many words in Gaelic are the same. So now it is necessary for us to invoke the mighty deities of that great continent. A priestess steps forward and sprinkles dried incense on the fire. I offer this incense to thee, Lakshmi, goddess of the cow, who produced the turning universe from the churning of thy sea of milk. Yet thou canst appear as any of thy children, disguised avatar. And the pilgrim asked in his wanderings, whence did that wind blow, the sweetest scented I ever inhaled? And it seemed to him as if his own conscience were advancing to him in that wind, in the shape of a maiden, fair, bright, white-armed, strong, tall-formed, beautiful of body, noble, of a glorious seed, of the size of a maiden in her 15th year, as fair as the fairest things in the world. And the soul of the faithful one addressed her, asking, what maid art thou, who art the fairest maid I have ever seen? And she answered him, O youth of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, of good religion, I am thine own conscience. I was lovely, and thou madest me lovelier. I was fair, and thou madest me still fairer. I was desirable, and thou madest me still more desirable. I was sitting in a forward place, and thou madest me sit in the foremost place, through good thought, good speech, and through the good deeds of thine. Here this priestess hands round a beautiful vessel of milk to all to drink, with these words to each. Dear friend, accept this milk from the mother of all beings into thyself, and know thyself as her daughter. Know thyself, dear friend, as her son. We hear her voice, and the other priestesses hand round milk from the goblet in cups with these words until all the company partake. Imagine yourself now being offered pure milk by a priestess, accepting that you are nourished by your mother's milk and by your divine mother's milk, which will bring you knowledge of eternal love and life. But does not life come through the mother? Now, a second priest offers dried herbs in the fire.
I offer this incense to thee, Vishnu the Preserver, in honour of thy divinity. Praise to thee, threefold God Vishnu. Thou art the embodiment of mercy and goodness. Thou art the power that maintains Dharma, the universal order. When Lakshmi had churned the milk of the universe, thus creating the starry heavens and the firmament, thou didst move across the face of the waters of Nara, the cosmic ocean. As Narayana, thou didst bring calm and compassion to the newly born, and preserve the beings brought forth by the stirring of creation. At the end of each age, thou liest sleeping upon the serpent Sisha that coileth across the heavens.
At this point, the priest moves around the circle, around the fire, sprinkling water to purify the circle, water from the holy well. And he says,
Let still minds bring order to the passions.
now the first priest speaks of the Atlantides. So realize that Taurus is connected with the lost continent of Atlantis.
Companions, let us invoke the 14 Atlantides.
The first priestess now shakes her sister.
We call upon the Hyades, the 7 daughters of Aethra and Atlas, half-sisters to the Pleiades. As when the seaman sees the Hyades gather an army of Cimmerian clouds, so do these stars bring earthquakes and winds of the spirit. They guard Aldebaran, bringer of riches and honor. Like Vestals, the Hyades preserve the ever-living eye of the goddess Ushat, and from it proceed the Taurids, bright meteors and fireballs.
Now all the company start putting fir cones and small twigs on the fire as the Atlantides are invoked by the priesthood.
Bestow on us the skills of the arts. Celestes, nymph-crowned like the Graces.
Give us the power of good rulership, Coronis decked with a diadem.
Aid our meditation, rich-crowned, clear.
Aid us in our healing, lovely fire.
May we attain thy dignity, long-robed Eudora.
Let thy perpetual light shine upon our souls, like Dione.
May we attain thy dignity, long-robed Eudora.
We call upon the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, shuttle of Meath, stars of Hathor. To them were oriented many temples of Hellas. The goddess Pleione is their mother. The Pleiades are the 7 white doves of Dona. It is they who bring the thunder and lightning of initiation.
We call also to help us in our devotions the bright holy ambrosia of religious devotions of the Hades. Having her help, we continue to invoke the Pleiades.
Let thy perpetual light shine upon our souls.
Come to us, Alcyone, the Lucida, elder sister, and descend on us with thy spiritual light. As Arundhati, thou didst bring Diwali, festival of lights, to India, and the festival of lanterns to the Orient. Thou art Amba, the mother, give us thy love. The great and burning star, immeasurably old, immeasurably far, surging forth its silver flame through eternity, Alcyone.
We call upon Mara, mother of Hermes, that we may have clear minds and good understanding. Love needs the balance of wisdom.
Sweet Taygete, give us the joys of life, who fix the 2 seasons of the honey harvest. As soon as the Pleiad Taygete has displayed her comely face to earth, and spurns with her foot the despised waters of the ocean, or when the same star, flying the constellation of the watery fish, descends in sadness from the sky into the wintry waves, the honey of happiness is gained.
Dark-faced Electra, share with us thy loyalty. Thou didst withdraw thy light in sorrow at the destruction of Ilium, the mighty city founded by thy son Dardanus. Electra, Trojae, Spectrae, Rimas, Montulit ante oculos, oppositque manum. Thy beauty is shrouded by the heavy veil thy wedlock won.
Thou who long for friendship, turn to us, Asterope, and thy twin sister. Help us to find and to keep true friends.
We turn to thee, Mater Pleione. Join our circle together, as do the filmy threads draw together thy daughters. The ground was as if strewn with pieces of enamel, and rows of Pleiades seemed to hang on the branches of the trees. To our rights, may heaven affix the pearl-decked rows of the Pleiades as a seal of immortality.
Let us not ignore the lost star, Merope, the occulted star of the mysteries. Teach us reverence for the unknown, dark-eyed Merope. 7 paths aloft men say they take, yet 6 alone are viewed by mortal eyes. From Zeus's abode no star unknown is lost, since first from birth we heard, and thus the tale is told. 6 only are visible, but the 7th is beneath the dark clouds.
Companions, let us make the weaving of the rays, as do the Atlantides. Let us move from north to west. Friend, now look at this amazing spiral dance of weaving the waves of the Atlantides. Watch this dance. Join in. Silvery white and lemon-coloured colours may be seen, and a rosy glow around the company. Beautiful. Dance. Feel this power. Cold electric-like power, as raindrops may be felt, especially in this throat. There is a faint shift of consciousness. Feel, dance. The company are all separating, dancing around the fire and round the trees. The children are joining in their own dance, holding hands, weaving in and out. It's like old children's games. The men make an archway and the women weave their way in and out. And what they're really doing is weaving all the beautiful qualities invoked by the Hardus. Think of them, Paisilu, the Graces, the ruler Coronis, rich-crowned Clear of meditation, Theo who heals, dignity of Eudora, religion of Ambrosia, perpetual light of Dione. And then think of the Pleiades, Alcyone, the Lucida brings the light, Arundhati of the festival of lights, Amber the mother, Maya, mother of the god Hermes of mind, Taigiti of joy, who gives the honey harvest, dark-faced Electra, who's so loyal, and Asteropian, her twin sister, who bring friendship, and the mother Pleione. Dance, dance, and bring your own ray to it. And the men dance as consorts of the Hades and Pleiades. Gradually the net is drawn closer, having moved out into the wilderness on our own, dancing joyfully. People begin to come back to the fire, holding their hands as if they held invisible webs. They begin moving in 3 circles round the fire, the inner circle moving from left to right, the middle circle from right to left, and the outer circle weaving in and out of the cypresses, again the path of the sun. So each person sees the other, smiling, but each are going a different path. But suddenly the circle stops. All hands are held up to the sky. Every hand then draws power from the rich, dark earth. All sink into meditation. The priestess calls upon the company to gaze upon a scroll of stars as she speaks of the awakening of Taurus and Isis.
Gaze with me upon the glory of the black sky of winter. With the eyes of wandering childhood, we see the starry cluster of the Pleiades as dancing nymphs moving across the sky. They come with the white bull Serapis, who rises from the milky sky river, Eridanus. His baleful left eye gleams like a red torch, and within it are all lost memories. In his eye is held forever the beauty of the goddess, and her fort cow's horns may be seen behind his. Following him strides the hawk-headed giant, Sa'u Orion Horus of the southern sky, and rising from the milky sea of heaven comes great Isis, and on her brow is the full moon, and in her right hand she holds her star, Anuki, Sirius, that holds the immortal twin spirits of Osiris and herself. This is the story of eternal love and life, of the losing and the gaining, of the death in the west and the rising in the east. Companions, contemplate and wonder the mystery of Taurus and Isis.
Before meditating, all call upon Isis. Visualize yourself surrounded by the stars of the coming night of Beltane. The Sidhe dispose themselves, and you gaze with wonder at our elder brothers and sisters, the star beings. We are of Earth in planetary consciousness, yet we awaken into the stars. The priestess draws our souls to Isis and the stars.
Let us meditate upon the mystery of the stars. Let us find ourselves as divine birds of the goddess who fly into the night sky. Under her great wings she guides us into the sky, into the brilliance of the galaxy. We find ourselves traveling beyond the realms of the earth and the moon and the planets. Faster than light, our souls speed under the guidance of Isis to a star which beckons to us, a star of mystery, great Aldebaran, the star of Taurus. It is the great watcher star of Taurus, of the earth, a royal star that confirms sovereignty and knowledge of the king and queen within. Thus, as we fly among the starry heavens, we gain a sense of our inner divinity, our path, our destiny.
There is a silence. See what has been described. One of the priesthood comments on what he is seeing.
We are flying. Our awareness of the angel, or our awareness of birds, is now transformed into winged stars which surround us and are singing. There are ladies, the seven of the Pleiades, the seven beyond, and all the Atlantides are singing and bestowing light, favour upon us who have come halfway to their land.
Another priest may see something.
I see the goddess Isis in infinite forms spreading out surrounding us. In her hand I see the people of the stars and the people of earth smiling, bearing on each other, giving each other gifts, being as one, once more reunited in truth and love.
I see a new humanity who know their own immortality, a world where there is no death, because people leave their bodies, as we are doing now, returning to them, changing bodies, but knowing their spirits are eternal. Be with us now and know that there is no death. Life is eternal. Priestess speaks.
We know of eternity and our own immortality as we fly with the goddess within the starry realms. Yet too we feel a call back towards the earth plane, towards our own lives, where we can bring the inspiration and creativity we gain in the star realms back to enrich our own lives and the lives of those about us, those we love and care for, our animals, our plants, our friends and family, the earth itself. Therefore we return with love, not sadness, to the realm of the earth, and come once more within the sacred enclosure.
Like a flight of doves or the Irish swans of Lear, we descend from our spirit bodies into the astral bodies that are seated round this flickering fire. And each sends forth a blessing to those with particular needs.
I send forth blessings to those whose hearts hold the creative essence of the stars, through music, through writing, through vision, through healing, those that allow the stars to come into the earth and be mingled with humanity through acts of creativity and acts of good faith and acts of healing.
I pray for all the downtrodden tribal peoples of South America who've had their religion and their way of life, and now their homes, the rainforests, destroyed. I pray for all the animals who are being made extinct, all the birds poisoned, the fish poisoned in the sea. I pray for all life that is suffering from the folly and greed and inhumanity of mankind. So I pray that the old humanity will be transformed into the new as the swans fly in the air above the earth.
I pray for all those who seek to rekindle the flame of the mysteries within their homes and the sacred groves, to bring back to humanity a sense of the divine, of the way of the many, coloured rainbow way, of the goddess and God, that they may know that they are custodians of the earth, take responsibility for their actions, and for all those that are under their care.
I pray for honour and wisdom to all those who think of battles, for when there is honour and wisdom, wars cannot flourish, and death through battle becomes a thing of the past.
The priest Hierophant asks for blessing on all beings.
May thy blessing be upon all beings.
Priest Hierophant stands up, and all stand, and he gives thanks to Isis and Serapis.
We give thanks to Serapis and to Vishnu.
I give thanks to Isis and to Lakshmi. The company are producing a feast for Beltane. The children are particularly interested now in this. Their sandwiches and crisps and things they like, and nice things to drink. But curiously enough, we feel rather out of place. We try and touch a sandwich and our fingers go through it. We would drink from a cup with some fruit juice, and we cannot drink. My friend, I don't think you and I belong here. We have our earthly setting sun elsewhere, under some other sunshine. We look our last with longing at this beautiful scene, knowing that we can come back at any time now we have been given the key, and the key is the sign of Isis, Ag, love. That is the key, whatever form it takes. And we watch the party, and suddenly we laugh because we see these she, like blue fire, that had invited us to this party, and they are with the company, and you and I can see them, and not all the others can. We see the she are joining in, the fire spirits of the fire, the water with the earth, the water with the well water, the earth spirits. And the trouble with leprechauns is they look so like the appalling replicas sold to tourists. This is very difficult to make an artistic leprechaun. They look just like that, except that they seem to be shimmering and moving very, very quickly, like an old film, shimmering. But they're leprechauns. They're laughing and playing silly games. They're playing with some sort of ball. They're pushing. I think it's a ball bearing they found. It is now time, however, to come back from Ireland to your own time and place. I'm Olivia Robertson, Torrygall Castle, Enniscorthy, South Ireland, of the Fellowship of Isis. Write to us at any time. Shlante.